Weilà raga. Come state ragazzi? How's it going, everybody? We're going to have a fun, quick video today. The title is legit, How to Speak Italian. We're just going to do that. Now, there's something really simple about this, and that's why the title is also so simple. You just have to reproduce the language. The more you're reproducing it, the more you will get comfortable at speaking and the better you'll get at it. Now, there are a couple different ways of reproducing language. You could just have a call with someone, meet up with someone, and speak to them in Italian. That's great. I would propose what you can do in between the times in which you're meeting with someone or talking to them. This is when you're sitting down yourself and you're doing some writing. I talk about this a lot on my channel. Writing really is key to helping you speak. And why is that? Goes back to the idea, if you're reproducing the language, it's helpful. So anytime you're reproducing, you're working towards getting better at speaking. And we're going to do this today. I often tell my students, if you want to do some practice, write me a short text. Now, often what happens? Well, how do I write something? I'm going to sit down at my screen, for example, or sit down at my notebook, and I just have this in front of me, right? Just a blank screen. What do I do? Well, in that case, we could do some prompts, for example. And these could be prompts that you find online. You can ask AI to do it for you. You could ask a friend or ask yourself, what do I always want to talk about? So, for example, yesterday was Thanksgiving at the time in which I'm filming this video. So we could talk about Thanksgiving, what you did, who you were with, what you ate, questions you have for someone about this holiday, and so on. So what we want to do is we pick an idea and just see how can I look at this idea in every which way. And that's going to give you content. You're essentially doing an outline. I always hated when my teachers would tell me, back when I was younger in school, make an outline before you do your paper. And they would even grade us on the outline. I hated that. But as I've gotten older, I've come to see how important outlines are and how they can really take on any form. It doesn't have to be Roman numeral 1, part A, part B, part C, and so on. It doesn't have to be that. It can be as simple as this. So this is a great framework. I could easily start working with that. And I don't really feel like talking about that today. That's not really my vibe. I'm not really feeling that right now. Instead, I want to talk about, for example, I want to picture myself in Italy and what happens when I'm in Italy. I usually like to talk about myself, where I'm from, how I learned the language. And I think a lot of us would find ourselves in those situations as well, in that situation as well. So I'm going to say spending time in Italy, what I've gotten up to, what I want to do, want to see, who I'm with, how long I'm staying. Just keep letting that thread of thought, just keep running with it. Keep going. How many more questions can I kind of juice out of this lemon? How many more questions can I get out of this? That's what I think about. So this is what I want to focus on. This seems interesting to me because when you're studying does not have to be something you're forced to do, something that's negative and pesante, something that kind of weighs you down. Have fun. Learning a language is to have fun. Okay, so we're going to talk about this. I just want to write a little bit. I'm going to go wherever my pen leads me, wherever my keyboard leads me, wherever I feel like going. Now, you can feel free to start in your native language. Start in English, okay? And just give yourself a couple of points. You could write it as a paragraph. I like to write it as a paragraph. Because sometimes bullets, I'm like, I don't know if I'm feeling the vibe for bullets, Yet again, just be free, That's what I want to communicate. Maybe for some people, you're like, okay, get to the point. For other people, you're like, you know what? I needed to hear that. So that's who I'm talking to. All right. So I'm in Italy. Okay, I'm in Italy. I'll be here, let's say, for 2 weeks. Let's do a nice 2-week vacation. I'm planning on visiting multiple cities. I'm going to visit family and friends. So visit family and friends, and let's just start there. All right? And maybe I'll say I've been to Italy before. And then I want to ask someone any suggestions on things to see. Now, you also don't have to write this down, okay? Just sort of start writing. Go with one sentence. Write about an imaginary thing. You do not have to be honest. Now, It depends on how you're going to interpret that. When I mean you don't have to be honest, it's okay if it's not trattato da una storia vera, basata su una storia vera. It doesn't have to be based on a true story. I always would tell this to my classmates when I was in my high school class and we'd have to write an essay. And they're like, well, what do I write about? Make something up. It doesn't have to be real. It could be about an imaginary person that you know or you don't know or you've seen before in a video or somewhere else. Use your imagination. Be creative. And in that, you can immedesimarti in quella persona. You can see yourself in that person. So anyway, for example, let's say instead, I want to have a ball. I'm going to be there for 6 months, right? I'm going to visit family and friends. Yeah, love it. So just go for it. Doesn't matter. I'm not only going to visit multiple countries, but also multiple countries. So not just cities, but also countries. Why not? Whether you're actually going to do that or not doesn't matter. Okay. Now let's get to our text, all right? So let's actually get to this. So I've got some framework. How do I say I've been to Italy before, right? Well, maybe I don't want to say exactly that. What do I know how to say? Ask yourself that question. What do I know how to say? Okay, so I can say, sono qui in Italia, mi piace molto, vengo qui spesso, quasi ogni anno, purtroppo devo sempre lavorare, quindi non posso venire sempre, ma va bene così. Okay, I'm just going to leave it there. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Oh, easy for you to say. You're an Italian teacher. But here's what I also do. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm here in Italy. Okay, sono qui in Italia. And then I'm like, I don't know what else to say because I don't know how to say it in Italian. I want to say, I love coming here. It's my favorite country. And I don't know how to say that. So do this. I love coming here. It's my favorite country. So what I would first do is identify what are some words in this that I know how to say. Well, I know how to say I. Okay. We'll take every win you have. Io. How do I say love? Oh, I don't know the verb for to love. So go online and look up the verb to love is amare. Then see what the conjugation is. You're like, oh, amare is a regular verb that ends in are. Okay, so io amo. Cool. Then coming here. How do I say I love coming here? Well, this might take you having to ask a friend, having to look it up. I'm sure if you were to put it into a translator, it would give you the option. We don't say in Italian, I love coming here. We say, I love to come here. And we're going to have two verbs next to each other, right? To love and to come. So to come is venire. Venire is an irregular verb. You can look up the conjugation if you don't know how to do it. It becomes io vengo. Okay, so I've got 3 words already, and then how do you say here? It's qui or qua. Choose the one you like. Okay, so amo venire qui. There you go. I love coming here. You could also say, well, maybe you're talking to a friend and they say, well, you don't really have to use amare. You could use mi piace or mi piace molto. That's then where sometimes you can get that native person input. You don't know a native person? Okay. Try to use the internet as best as you can. It's no big deal. Mi piace molto venire qui. Okay. And you know what you could do? You could stop there. You're allowed to stop. You don't have to continue. If you want to continue, go for it. Have fun. Sono qui in Italia. Amo venire qui. Or mi piace molto venire qui. And then you're like, you know what? I want to change something else. Instead of, oh, I already said mi piace molto before. But anyway, how about I say l'Italia è un bellissimo posto. Italy is a beautiful place. Maybe I'm thinking, well, why am I saying place? How about it's a nice country? Let me be specific. Paese. And then I'm kind of like, well, what about if I talk about, my country? I want to ask someone, instead of just talking about me all the time, let me ask someone else a question. Have you ever been to the US, right? Okay, how can I say this in English? Well, the first thing you need to ask yourself when you're looking at this sentence, and good news is, we're going to end on this. We're going to keep this video nice and simple and short just to give you some ideas for what you can do. So have you ever been to the US? Well, what is our main verb? What is the main action here? We want to know if someone has been. You need to identify that this is past tense. What is the past tense when we're saying things like have you been? Passato prossimo. So if you don't know passato prossimo, and you're looking up in the translator, and it comes up with sei stato or sei stata, okay, go check out my video on passato prossimo. I'll have it linked down below in the description. There you go. We've got a lot of resources we can look at. Oh, the video is too long, it's 30 minutes. Okay, jump through the video. You don't have to watch the whole thing. If you can get the info you can get out of it just by skimming through it, okay, that works. So, and then have you ever? You can easily look that word up. It's mai. Mai is ever and also works for never when using it in the negation, okay? Sei mai stato. And then if I don't know how to say to the US, you just look it up. I've got a prepositions video. For countries, we say in, right? And if it's to the, that's what we call the preposizione articolata. We have to change the form because it's in plus yi. Because the country name is Stati Uniti, it's an S plus a consonant, it needs to have the yi. In plus yi becomes negli. Sei mai stato negli Stati Uniti. If I'm talking to a girl, sei mai stata negli Stati Uniti. I don't want to call it Stati Uniti, I can call it America, right? And maybe I want to talk to a group of people. Let's practice some more verb conjugation, some gender number agreement. Siete mai stati in America? Siete mai state for the feminine plural. In America. There we go. I can do that. And then now, let's just bring it all together. Sono qui in Italia. Mi piace molto venire qui. L'Italia è un paese bellissimo. I want to change it up. Instead of saying bellissimo paese, è un paese bellissimo. Sei mai stata in America? I'm going with that option. Leave it there. And then practice that. Sono qui in Italia. Mi piace molto venire qua. Ask an Italian friend, can you read this to me? Read it first, slowly, then fast. Or tell them read it first, fast, then slowly. Break it down into chunks. Rewind over certain parts. When you're having a call with someone, having a lesson, do that together. Use AI. We have the technology. Use it. I'll always say go first to a person. Always. Languages are meant to be used with people. But if you have the tool, you can use it. Sono qui in Italia. Sono qui in Italia. The more you say it, you'll get used to it. Sono qui in Italia. You're not going to get it just this one first time. Maybe you will, but it needs to set in. Depends on how often you're studying. Take your time with it. Come back to the sentence in a couple days. Come back to tomorrow. Come back to it again the day after. Come back to it in a week. Don't look at it for a while. But look how much you can get just out of this. Sono qui in Italia. Mi piace molto venire qui. L'Italia è un paese bellissimo. Sei mai stata in America? Work on things like that, your intonation, your pronunciation. Step 1 is just getting the words out. Step 2, try to make it sound authentic. And that's it. That's enough. That's all you have to do. So I know the atteggiamento, the personality I've been giving in this video is kind of like, okay, I got the point. You keep repeating, it's no big deal, be free. Okay, it's a little annoying. But I always tell my students, if it gets to the point where it's a little annoying, that means the point has been drilled into your head. Sometimes you have to hear something over and over and over again, and it starts clicking, it starts making sense, you start becoming well acquainted with the idea, and you're understanding the purpose of what you're doing. What's the underlying emotion? Because learning a language is fun, be free, enjoy yourself, talk about whatever you want, and that's enough. As long as you're showing up, you're putting in the work, it's just like working out. If you've only got 20 minutes, don't say, I'm not going to work out today because I only have 20 minutes when I should be doing an hour. Maybe you don't have an hour. Maybe you have 20 minutes. Just show up. Show up, do something, and be consistent. That is the secret. On top of reproducing, okay? So consistency is bringing you there and making it a part of your life. Where it becomes normal, you start to miss it, and you're used to always doing it. Good. Got the consistency. Then Technique. What technique do you like? What technique works? How much time do you have, right? This didn't take that long. We've been doing this for 15 minutes, but it's also because I'm giving an explanation. So yeah, in 15 minutes, I just wrote a couple words. Okay. But something is better than nothing. You can then take that example the next day or later on and see how much longer you can make it. How can you change it? Can you talk to a different person? Try a different verb tense. Talk about something that could happen, something that you heard happen to someone else, something that used to happen. You can have a lot of fun with it. So just remember, you got to be consistent. If you don't know something, look it up. Work with what you got. Build off of what you already know. And then don't worry about making something huge. Keep it small, focus, get really good at it. And I think I covered everything. The whole point is just to reproduce. So whether you're talking to someone or not, you're working on your own, reproduce the language. The more you use it in the written form, the better you'll get also at recalling it to memory and speaking. It'll work. Let me know what you think. Always remember to spread the love. Check out all my other videos. I'll have a lot linked down below in the description, including my free grammar course, 30-part series that'll take you from zero to hero. And I offer weekly Italian lessons on Zoom. Check out the link in the top line of the description to go to my website to learn more. All right, guys. Alla prossima. Ciao. Ciao.